What do you think of the whole GameStop fiasco?
Oh my gosh, where do you start with that? I mean, I don't have a strong opinion on it. I mean, I know a lot of people are super opinionated on it. Actually, I'm surprisingly not opinionated on it. You know, I don't know. I don't have that. It's funny because I'm the stock market guy, but I don't have a strong opinion on that. It's like, it is what it is. I don't know. Like, you know, it's not a stock I'm interested in. It's not a bad stock, but it's not a stock that I'm like, oh, I got to buy that stock. I think it's good in the respect that it gets a lot of people into the market. A lot of people are like, oh, let me start buying stocks. And at least like, you know, sometimes you have to get people into the market through different means, right? Not everybody is going to be like me and like super like go-getter, like, oh, I can't wait to start looking into companies. I want to be the next Warren Buffett. Like, not everybody wants to do that. Some people, you have to drag them into the stock market through different avenues, right? And so I think a situation like that gets a lot of people excited. And so from that perspective, I'm happy. You know, the whole rest of it, it's like, you know, it is what it is. I don't really have a strong opinion on it, to be honest. So,
does it worry you that it's still trading above $200 a share? It's a $15 billion valuation right now for GameStop.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it worries me. I mean, whether it goes up a bunch or down a bunch, you know, I think people that have really been buying that are prepared to lose their money for the most part, or see the value go down or something like that. And I think they understand that risk. I think the same way, you know, somebody, you know, we live in Vegas, right? So, I mean, somebody goes down the sports book, like they could win a bunch of money, but they also understand, oh man, this might go bad and I might lose everything. GameStop, I don't think that's the type of stock you lose everything in, though. Let me be very clear. It's just whether GameStop goes up over the coming years or whether it goes down, let's say 50% over the next few years. I think that's the real question with GameStop. I don't look at that business model and say that's going to zero. It also is hard for me to see that going to 1,000. I mean, I've seen people saying GameStop's going to $1,000.
I've seen 1,000, 5,000.
Yep, and $10,000.
$10,000.
Yeah,
10,000 was the one I heard.
Yeah. There's been people on Reddit being like $40,000. It's gonna hit 40 grand. We just gotta hold on. It's like, no one's paying $40,000 for this.
Yeah. You know, people just will talk crazy.
People go bankrupt before that stock.
Well,
is
it was the idea
that
that it was overshorted by the instant, and they'd have to buy it at whatever
they
price.
They don't have to buy it.
Because they were locked into contracts.
No, they would just listen. We're done. We're bankrupt. Listen,
we quit.
Realistically, that's what's gonna happen. They can't just invent money out of nowhere to pay for something that they can't afford.
They would go bankrupt.
They would just go bankrupt.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and then nobody gets their 40 grand.
Yeah.
They're just gonna say, "I'm sorry, I'm not playing this game anymore. I don't like this game."
I knew someone.
Be the Eric Cartman of that. Be like, "All right, screw you guys. I'm going home."
Yeah, I know. I knew someone who was so convinced in GameStop that they had everything that they owned except their fully paid off house, but every last penny aside from that into GameStop. It was nearly $1 million in $800 call options that expired yesterday.
What do they? Wow. Wait,
so they put in. They had like. I think it was like 80 grand or something like that. And it went up to like $900,000. And they held over the weekend, 2 weeks ago, into Monday of this week with like $1 million in $800 calls. So they would be able to buy GameStop at $800 per share yesterday. And obviously it didn't hit it.
So what? Just the money.
Well, I don't know if he exited his position, but I know for a fact if he did exit his position, I'm sure he at least lost like 50, 60, 70%
Are these the people you're hanging out with?
I was telling him that was a terrible idea. I was telling him that's a no-go. But
who is this guy?
His name's Crispy Stocks. He's in the mentorship group.
Are you serious?
I told him not to do it. Yeah. I said, dude, you turned like 80 grand into nearly $1 million. Get out. Mm-hmm. And J-Bay was telling him too. He was like, dude, you should get out of that. Like, you've already made so much money. He's like, oh, I'm convinced it's going to $10,000 a share.
Why didn't I hear about this?
Because it was on a Tuesday. You weren't there.
That sounds like an interesting video idea for you, Graham, I'll be honest.
No, we could actually have like a segment with him on or something. He has a YouTube channel and he's like, he was so convinced in it. He said he was fully prepared to go work at Wendy's. Like if it expired worthless, be totally fine going working at Wendy's, restarting.
That's just greed. That's greed though. When you turn 80 into how much was it worth at the peak?
It was like $1 million.
That's just greed.
He said he was going to be worth $10 million was his projection.
I mean, what could you do?
Yeah. Hey man, we live in Vegas. I'm sure somebody on the strip tonight's gonna turn some silly small amount of money into some stupid amount,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna get calmed that night, and then they're gonna stay another night, and they're gonna lose it all. You know what I mean? It's just,
I know.
gamblers want to gamble.